the supervision guidelines. Whilst we've been talking about CPD with everybody, and so many phone calls in the last month of people talking about CPD, they've also been talking about the supervision guidelines. Now, remembering that the period of regulatory intent, so a new piece of legislation, comes in, the regulatory body, so in this case, New South Wales Fair Trading, gave 6 months for agents to get your houses in order, or get your offices, your agencies in order, making sure that you comply with all the new requirements. Now, due to COVID, that got extended out to just over 12 months. So that period of regulatory intent where there was a warn and educate period from fair trading, so not running around giving penalty infringement notices, but a warn and educate and helping agents, get yourselves compliant, that has been extended out until the 1st of April. So as of the 2nd of April, fair trading, when they go into, they're already going into offices. At the moment, they're looking at, underquoting and your price substantiation and a few issues, licensing issues around that. But guys, when they start coming in after the 2nd of April, so that's where it's not about you've got until the 2nd of April to be compliant. You've always needed to be compliant. You've been needing to spend the last 12 months getting yourselves compliant with the new requirements of the legislation. It's just from the 2nd of April onwards, fair trading will then be issuing penalty infringement notices and significant warnings in terms of if you are not complying with specific parts of the Act and the regulations. So pretty straightforward there, and I think that's where some of the confusion is around people saying, oh, they've extended the CPD deadline. Well, no, there's, as far as we've heard, there's been no extension there. Deadline was Monday. Period of regular intent finishes on the 1st of April. As of the 2nd of April, fair trading will then, take a more serious and more structured approach to how they're investigating agents' compliance with the Act and the regulations. So remembering that the supervision guidelines are a major part of that. So guys, everybody's talking about the supervision guidelines. There are 10 specific requirements under the guidelines. It's about looking at your specific role of your licensee in charge and how they authorise and monitor what's going on in their office. There needs to be that preparation of operational procedures. There needs to be procedures for operating and managing your trust accounts. So that's really about the authority that the nominated licensee in charge is giving for the disbursement of funds from either the sales or the property management trust accounts. Another of the requirements is about obtaining identification from clients for the purposes of fraud prevention. I mean, it's not just fraud prevention, it's also about getting clear instructions about who is giving you directions about how to manage the property. And that can be an issue in a relationship breakdown between two owners, in any type of issue, in divorce issues, in property settlement issues. So it's really important to get those identification documents done. Procedures for communicating channels with clients, again making sure that you're communicating with the people who you're supposed to be communicating with, so the people who have the authority to deal with the property. Accurate representation in relation to the selling price of property. Procedures for management of customer complaints, that's nothing new. We've had to have that for years. Appropriate supervision of employees, so making sure people have done their CPD, people are getting the units towards their licenses, making sure that people are employed in the right manner. So all of those types of things about the supervision employees, and that comes into all of your policies and procedures, down to anti-discrimination policies, how you deal with your recruitment and, the culture of your agency as well. There's also about the maintaining a gifts and benefits register and the appropriate maintenance of your records. So actually having records, not just having a folder on the shelf that you bought, from somebody. Yep, bought that, put it on the shelf, all done, or put it, put the document onto your computer. It's actually about making sure that everybody within the office knows the contents of it and that it is relevant to your office. So, and looked at on an annual basis. So, there's some real requirements in there. You may have bought some supervision guidelines. That's great. You may have bought them from us, which are certainly available on our website. But whichever ones you bought, none of them are any good unless you amend them and make them your own in terms of your own policies and your own procedures for how your agency runs. Not good enough to buy wherever you buy them from, not good enough to just buy them and put them aside and say, yep, done that, tick. That's not a tick. It's not even a half tick. You know, you've wasted your money if you're not going to do something with them. So be serious about the supervision guidelines. It is certainly something that Fair Trading will start looking at when the period of regulatory intent finishes and they start visiting and auditing agencies in detail on the 2nd of April.